All right, we're live. Welcome back, everyone. Good evening. It is Tuesday, and it's 11 p.m., and it's October 28th, and I am tired, but we are live nonetheless. Bitcoin had some volatility today, unexpected in my opinion, but we ended up toward the downside, I guess in preparation for what's going to happen tomorrow with the rate cuts. Yeah, it's priced in that we will be having our rate cut. It's practically guaranteed at this point, so I'm not even going to spend too much time discussing it because we already covered it for basically months. But you know, what's to expect after? Like, what's next? That's what kind of matters, and that's what's probably bringing uncertainty into the markets. Government shutdown is still a thing. What will Jerome Powell say at his little speech thing that he does? That's what we're going to have to wait and see until tomorrow, of course, when the news does break out. What else do we have to cover today? So Trump is still doing the travels. We'll give a quick update on what's going on with him. Huge updates for Solana, and it is crashing on the news, which that's fine by me. I will go ahead and purchase more, of course, given appropriate analysis. We will be looking at all of that today. And also some big stock companies making just even more partnerships, just left, right, and center, just random partnerships. It's what it seems like, at least. So we'll be going over all of that in tonight's stream. Should be a good one. Before we start, just remember to subscribe. That is all. All right. So Bitcoin's current price is 112,341. We are approaching the support level that we had at basically 111. I don't know, I think I averaged this out to 111,500, right? So we were not able to break the resistance at 116,000. We hit a high of the 116,344, which I covered yesterday, but today we had another attempt. We only hit 116,059. I saw that notification on my phone while I was working. I'm like, oh no, are we going to rise? But then I checked my phone on my next break, which I don't have that much breaks, by the way. It's so annoying. But anyway. Then I see Bitcoin's price crashing and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a nothing burger. We're fine. How low can we go? 110. There's your answer. If we do come down to 110, I will absolutely be purchasing a huge chunk on Bitcoin. 110 seems to be like a safe price in my opinion. I've always averaged out my entries, whether I like it or not, to be 110, 111,000, sometimes 112. We've seen it in the past. So 110, I'd be comfortable with DCAing some position in here on Bitcoin. I have not been buying on spot. Price is a little too high in my opinion, but I know it will go higher, so I'm just doubting myself over here. Also, do I really want to put myself in more debt at this time? The answer is probably yeah, I should. Or depends on what I do with it, right? If I just take a quick profit on Bitcoin, the taxes are going to be heavy, but I pay the loan back, the line of credit, whatever. And I keep the profit, which is what really matters on Bitcoin on spot. And it's safe on spot. And if it does go lower, whatever, I'll just, you know, send it off to an external wallet and leave it there for eternity. We'll see, though. It's not even that much of big money, if you know what I'm saying. So, yep, these are my current positions. Still doing absolutely nothing. Solana, I don't think it rose to where I really wanted it to, did it? No, we only hit a high of 205. Oh, well, well. What happened here? October 27. Yeah, that was midnight. Nobody was alive during that time. Awake, not alive. Still, I think I wanted it at 207, so I will not be touching Solana here. I don't even know. I'm hearing a lot of good stuff with Solana, and I'm really, really tempted to just go ahead and just drop a huge chunk right now. It would be inappropriate to do so, but we are down 4%. I don't know. Things could just start skyrocketing tomorrow, right? What are we at here with Solana? 490. You know what? If we do the 191 again, I probably should have done this way earlier, but I was working. I'll drop another 500. Just to kind of increase my exposition right over here. So it's basically right where my entry price is. I'm putting another limit order. Like I said, I should have done this before, but whatever. I wasn't really expecting much from it. And if we go lower, good. I do want it to go lower so I can buy more. Ideally, if we do drop lower and break the 192 support, that should take us obviously below 190 to around 186, 180, 185. 185. That seems like a genuinely good entry, and I think I'm going to just go ahead and set up my trigger order right over here. But allow me to calculate a perfect price, which is literally just me averaging out these two levels that I see over here. But it works half the time. I will drop 1,000 there. Should be pretty good. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll be discussing what the updates are with Solana in just a moment. Ethereum is fighting for the 4,000 range. I was lucky enough to take profit up there. What's next for Ethereum is a drop to 3,800 approximately. If I really want to enter Ethereum, I really don't want to, but I might just do it. It's probably one of the safer coins, one of the few that will be on the rise first before we see an inevitable alt season eventually. So that's kind of what I see here. I could arguably just DCA a position at 3,952, then 3,897, and then my large position at 3,793. But there's really no real entry at this time. RSI is not oversold, so I really want to wait for that first. And it's likely that will happen around 3,800. Looking at the support, 3,793. So we'll see. Resistance was cleared there at 4,250. We'll leave it at. And obviously we're hovering around the psychological level of 4,000 on Ethereum. Down 2.43%. The current price is 3,999 and 39. So yeah, that's what we got. Solana, I don't remember if I mentioned the price. It's at 193.77. Like I said, I will be adding more to the position here. Where's my limit order? It just disappeared. It's there, trust me. And if we do continue lower once again at 185, I'll be entering more. I expect Solana to be near oversold around those prices. BitTensor on the rise today. Cephalodwellier deal boosts network infrastructure seems to be the reason for the rise according to this AI. It accurately predicted a resistance over here, the pivot levels that is, at 460 approximately. We hit a high of 459.86, so just below 460. The resistance level was marked at 457.30. There was no real entries on BitTensor practically ever, right? If you're counting this, nobody sniped this trade. Everybody was busy getting liquidated, so ignore that wick. Like, there was no real entry that I could find on BitTensor. That's why I'm still out of it. I had an entry over here when it seemed appropriate at 300, but the price never dropped that low. Price has been oscillating around, you know, high 400s. We dipped to a low of 341, but no lower than that. So now it's like, where do we go next from here? I was looking at averaging out these two areas, which would drop it at 360 around that area. But it seems too far for now, and I'd rather just wait and see what it does. But it seems to be currently on the rise, up 3-4% almost, so good for BitTensor. It's on its way down right now. 424 is the current price. So from 460 to 424, it's been pretty volatile, I'm not going to lie, so good for BitTensor, I guess, if you do have it. Hyperliquid, going as planned. $48, 6 cents, 7 cents. Staying around this range is basically what I'm expecting, how I'm expecting Hyperliquid to behave at these prices, right? Just kind of lateralizing at the top. That has been marked since yesterday. I already bought down here, sold up here, took my profit. I'm waiting for another entry on Hyperliquid, which I would expect around 40. Should I go ahead and drop a position here? Not yet, not yet. I want to combine it with like something, maybe a Fibonacci level. Ignoring, of course, this wick over here. Everybody should ignore these wicks on your own charts because the prices are going to be different to how far down you got liquidated, especially on futures charts. So ignoring that, the low point would be 33.28 compared to, awesome, what the hell did I just do? There we go. Compared to whatever the highest point is, which would be a high 49 number, right? almost 50, wherever that level may be. When we start retracing a little bit, I'll draw Fibonacci like this, and I'll average out the entry between the super trend and wherever the price is, which is looking like around, yeah, 39.50. I don't know, maybe around that area. If this, of course, was the top, but I'm not sure if that will be the top. Like I said, we're stuck in a range at the moment, so could make a little higher high, but or a lower, start going lower, who knows, right? So we have to wait and see. All right, that's what I got for Hyperliquid, but it's performing well nonetheless, up 1% and 48.16. I think I already mentioned the price. Plasma, no entries on it yet. It's kind of on the way down in the past couple hours, 35 cents. I was really tempted on entering yesterday when we saw this happen, but I decided against it last minute, I think, right? We were kind of already on the rise. There was no real entry point over here, so I'd rather stick to my strategy, and I decided not to enter. And it will stay that way. I do want to look at RSI heat map while we're, analyzing these. SUI is also on the way down right now. Back to where my entry price is, which is fine. I would like to increase my exposition onto SUI, so I could. I think I will, matter of fact. I do have a limit order over here for whatever reason. I feel like I should be averaging these out. Or I think I might have already, right? What's this level from? Let me see historical pivots. Because, oh, I see where it's from. I've averaged out these two levels, which it's really close to the low point, right? Just slightly below that, I see. I don't think we're going to drop that far below on SUI. I think SUI is way too oversold, even at these prices. Like, I'm willing to just go ahead and buy SUI at this price if I was on spot, for example. But in futures, like, you got to be really, really picky about where you enter. And in this case, well, I don't have too much in here, so I do want to add another position, maybe at this support level. That's where I would expect it to drop to. I know we won't really be oversold at that level, but I don't expect SUI to drop much further. If it does, I'll have this order ready down over here, which I don't think it will hit. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is drop the order at 242.365. We'll do a... Whoa, not that much. Come on. Get out of here. 750. Almost put 7,500. Finger slipped. I swear one of these days I'm going to drop like 100k or by accident on a futures trade and just liquidate my whole account. That'd be funny, but it would be sad. Bitcoin Cash is at an area of selling, and to buy, nothing important to buy. Maybe Compound if you care. What is Prove? What is Common? How was Compound? I got liquidated on Compound. What are we doing here? It looks good. I'm seeing like a really solid recovery with its, after its huge liquidation event, of course. Oh my gosh, we dropped to 15.98. For reference, the current price is 35.93. That's how fast it's already, gotten up. We truly bottomed at like maybe, let's just leave it at 30. We rose to almost 40 and we're at 35 right now. It's got that kind of movement going on. We don't necessarily have an uptrend, but the recovery seems fine up until we hit this important resistance over here, which I have from previous support. Ignore the Fibonacci here. The previous support level, which I will draw here, right? That kind of coincides, as well as a psychological level at 40, as well as the down super trend that we have over here, also at 39.10. We hit a high of 39.11. And we have bounced off that level and come back down to an oversold area right over here. I'll take the bait. How much are we dropping? We'll go market. I'm just literally buying at market price. It's a good price right now to buy. Don't care if it fluctuates a little higher or a little lower. I should have, I arguably entered at 36.18. So now's a good time in my opinion. I'll do, I'm feeling generous. We'll do 1,000. See where it takes us. I still think Compound is okay of a project. Not the best. I don't really analyze it that much, but you know, I am well aware of what they do, and you know, decent project. So I'll throw them a couple of money, bit of money. Chainlink, which had a really solid uptrend going on, is kind of breaking it a little, but we can just simply readjust the line. The uptrend is still there. Same deal, still invalidates at 17. I have my trigger order. No, that's my entry, sorry, not a trigger order. At 17. I might want to start increasing my exposition into some of these, right? I'm really liking the support level. Exactly at 1695. What would even be the average between these two numbers? I cannot do math, so forgive me. 959, 16, 956. Probably 9. Yeah, it's this thing. Okay, so 958. Sure. I'll average that out. So 16.958. I'd be willing to buy some more Chainlink down there. And how much are we dropping here? I'm willing to put more, of course. Now that the huge liquidation event it already happened. It won't happen again. You're safe at entering 3x leverage, in my opinion. Do not follow what I do because I have a tiny brain and I don't know what I'm doing. I do have another trigger order down over here. Why? I think that's too far low. Might actually average out these two. I don't know. I feel like that's way too low. Chainlink might not even drop that low. I'm trying to see. What is this level from? From a historical low point on August 2nd of this year, yeah. I think that's way too low, though, to be honest. And what about this bottom? I like this one better. This one I feel like is way too far, way too low. I know it's just a couple cents, but it does matter when it comes to an asset like Chainlink. The cents, they mean something. So I'll probably average out an entry between these two over here. That seems more appealing. 15,596 divided by 2. So 15,641 is your entry. Approximately. And we'll do 1,000, yeah. Alright, cool. That's what we got for Chainlink. New orders submitted. We'll see how it goes. I love how you can't even see the S1 line anymore because my order is there. It'll just reinforce my position and drop my average price just a little bit. Not even that much. Just basically averaging out these two. So it'll probably be at exactly 17, my entry price, once that order does get filled. We'll see how it plays out though. Like I said, for Chainlink, this is where I expect a bounce to happen. So I don't expect us to break below over here. Like I'm expecting maybe a bounce like this. And all we would have to do is just readjust the uptrend to something like this because it would still be in effect. And if it is not, we're looking for the next support level, which is going to be around 1560 to 1570, right around over here. So that's where I would expect, if things continue to drop, to have the bounce, right? That's to be, you know, just in preparation. We'll see what happens. So that's perfect, prepared, ready. I did the right thing over here with Aptos as well. You know, buying down here, selling up here. Good. Great. Buy low, sell high. That's all you really got to do to make money, guys. It's not that hard. Right? Anyway. We do technically have an uptrend on Aptos, which invalidates at 318. We're approaching a support level at 324. The current price is 333. We broke through the support of 341 to be at these prices right now. In my opinion, we are still on a downtrend on it because of the macro, right? We still did not break out of this downtrend, which comes from a longer period of time, since we topped out at 564, by the way. Genuinely good rise. I still like Aptos, so I do need to re-enter eventually. Where do I plan to do that? Good question. Let's see. I'm liking the 324, but I'm also concerned with the 318 level. What I'm going to do is I'll do two entries really close to each other. because I don't know where specifically we'll be oversold. I feel like we'd be oversold as we approach 320, like this level over here. That's when we would expect RSI to be oversold and expect a potential bounce, right? That's kind of what I aim for, but I don't have any other level to combine it with unless I draw maybe a Fibonacci. I could. I think I will. Okay, maybe that'll help. Praying that this does not make me look like a fool on stream, and it did. Yeah, it's like right in the middle. I don't know. I like it actually, because I was thinking I'll just do 320, right? Like 320 flat. But I could average out 321 and 318. It should give me an approximate level to what I'm trying to aim for. So that's, I think, what I'm going to pay attention to. 318.16 plus 321.64. And keep in mind, of course, super trend can change. But I think it, you know, if we do continue lower, it's not going to move from there until we break that downward and head lower, of course. But I don't think we're gonna. Look at that. It's exactly 320 almost, right? 319.9. Like, that's just how much more perfect can you get? We'll be generous with it. I gotta recover the money somehow, so I'll drop 1,000. Alright, cool. Let's see how that plays out. I will delete this. And I'm not too concerned about this uptrend line. Like, it could always be readjusted as long as, you know, we do have a bounce from the uptrend. Don't break below 318, right? That's all that really matters. Because we could see something like this. Oh, I hope not that. I hope this. Where it fills my order and then bounces, right? And then we will just adjust the uptrend like that. That should be fine. So we'll see. All right. And I'll just readjust this back here for reference. That's all the coins I have for analysis. I do want to have a look at World Liberty Finance because I'm in it for whatever reason. Should have gotten out of the position. I don't know. Probably at these prices I should add to it. I'm liking this entry over here at 1269. It's likely that we would be oversold at that area. So might actually do it, honestly. 0.1262, 0.1269. I still have faith in the Trump family. They give us money and they also take money away from us. Oh, you know what's risky though? We saw how much World Liberty Finance had a pre-crash, almost in anticipation of the tariffs that were about to be announced on October 10. Maybe, I don't know, if whatever meeting comes up with China soon, Thursday, yeah. That meeting, if that goes wrong, then World Liberty Finance will be the first to suffer. Guaranteed. But that's the point of the game. That's why we risk. And no risk, no reward, you know? What did I do here? Why didn't I get liquidated before? The liquidation price was 0.009. I guess I added to the liquidation, like the margin, I mean. That's odd. I don't remember. I somehow survived the liquidation event. I didn't survive the first wave of it, but the second wave, that was the one that took everyone out. I survived that one on World Liberty Finance, but that's it. Okay, so I'll do this entry, 1265. I think that's what I just calculated. And what do I have here? I'll do 500. Although it's probably gonna have to be more than that. We'll do 750. All right. I don't like it, but I have to save this position, to get out of here with profit, right? Because we're touching my entry price while being overbought, and I really don't like that. It just means that it's not likely for me to see as much green in terms of return, right? Every time we did hit my entry price, we've been like close to overbought, or actually overbought, to the point where we just bounce below that over here, which means it's tough to see to, you know, expect the price to, you know, do something like this. It could, and we do clearly have a resistance at 16, but I don't know. It's going to require something. And at, you know, at these times where there's not a lot of fundamentals going on, especially on a day like today, we do need, you know, the odds in our favor as much as possible. The fact that super trend is on the rise right now, and it is in the green, gives me hope that around this area we could see a potential bounce. Not like that, gosh. Something like this, right? And it should drop my average price to where the current price is right now, approximately, is what I would assume. And if we do get another scenario where we are overbought, maybe around this area, 1611, I'll have a decent return and I can get out of the position. That's kind of what I'm hoping for over here. Cool. So there we go. 666. All right. Let's get into our news, everybody. So what is going on with Donald Trump? He met with the Japanese Prime Minister. We covered that yesterday, and he is now on the way, leaving Japan now for South Korea. What's he going to do in South Korea? Well, I think you already know. To discuss lowering China tariffs for fentanyl crackdown with Xi Jinping is who he will be meeting with. And he commented on it, saying his meeting with Xi is going to be great for everybody. Surely he's got something planned. The trade talks that we saw between US officials and Chinese officials in wherever they were, it was this weird city name of Malaysia, the capital of Malaysia. They said it went well, and that's why we saw crypto market pumping on a Sunday, which a lot of people found odd, but yeah. By the way, I love this picture of Trump. It throw back to 2016. It was great. This is the funniest meme. It looks like he's about to say the F word or something. U.S. Senate passes a bill to terminate President Trump's tariff against Brazil. Okay. We'll see what comes of that. And I guess that's all I really have for geopolitics. Like I said, nothing much happened today for, geopolitical news. A chunk of that will happen likely tomorrow or day after, Thursday. I don't know. They say they're going to meet on Thursday, right? October 30, yeah. But it's like, okay, but they're in South Korea, and South Korea is in the future. Are we going to get like a delay of 12 hours before we get the news of whatever comes out of the meeting? I know it doesn't work that way, but I'm making a joke. Or like what, like, are we going to get it the day earlier, right? Because it is October 30th for them, but it will be October 29 for us. I don't know. I don't know how time zones work, but we'll see. Anyways, so yeah, moving on to crypto news. Crypto quant analysts say that the current crypto market correction is minor and it's likely short-lived, with a strong altcoin rally expected before the cycle ends. I believe that as well. So our views align with big analysts, right? People who do this for a living. I just do this as a hobby. And that'll be good. Good to see, right? We're expecting this, by the way, to happen by November, sometime in November. Peak in the cycle for maybe Bitcoin. Maybe altcoins will carry on until end of November, maybe close to December. I don't know if I would expect things to continue much from there. But yeah. Solana surges as the first US Solana ETF launches on the New York Stock Exchange. Analysts are also saying that Solana could rally over 100% to be priced at 400 plus, fueled by these ETF inflows and bullish technicals. All right, first of all, it was not the first US Solana ETF. Second of all, it's Grayscale, which that's a little scary. G-Sol is almost here from Grayscale. There's another one that's coming out. I think we had the other Solana ETF that came out that I covered yesterday from Bitwise. Or I think it was Bitwise. I hope so. That's already out. I forget what the ticker was. Oh no. Do we have it on the ETF flows? Did they update it? Because we have Solana category and it's only for Rex Osprey. Where's Rex Osprey? They're gone. Well, now it's Bitwise. Okay, yeah, so it was Bitwise, and B-Sol is the ticker, and they bought 69 million Solana yesterday. Or today. Yeah, today. They already published the numbers. That's good. And because of that, by the way, look at how well Solana is performing. That's why I am willing to increase my position even at my entry price, right? I don't know, I should probably do it at above over here, but at 192. But I don't know. I don't want to add to, increase my average price. So that's something I'm cautious about. And tomorrow, Grayscale will be releasing their ETF from Solana. I think that's probably why Solana's crashing, to be honest, because it is Grayscale. And if you know Grayscale, I mean, you don't got to be an expert here. Look at what Grayscale does with their ETFs. This is the Grayscale ETF, GBTC for Bitcoin, right? $24 billion outflows ever since its inception. On average, they're outflowing $54 million per day ever since its inception, since Bitcoin ETFs were approved last year, 2024, February, March, right? That's not good. What about Ethereum? Oh boy. Grayscale's Ethereum ETF is ETH-E. $4 billion in outflows only. These guys don't accumulate. They just make outflows and they'll just dump. And I think that's what people are expecting for Solana as well. Something that's always the thing that I've noticed with Grayscale. It's like any ETF that comes out that belongs to Grayscale, if they already had a trust and they convert that into, you know, the ETF, they already have the funds purchased, the cryptocurrency purchased, the tokens purchased, and they're just gonna just, you know, dump. It's like they're just taking profit constantly by selling off, and it's just gonna suppress prices. That's the only downside that I see. But Bitwise, that's cool. It allows staking too, by the way. Bitwise's Solana ETF. I don't know if Grayscale will allow staking. Does it say? Direct exposure to Solana, including its potential staking rewards. Okay, well, there you go. So yeah, there will be staking on this as well. That's just, I don't know. Will it make things more inflationary? I'm sure it's all controlled, so I don't think it'll be a big issue. But yeah. Trades tomorrow on the New York Stock Exchange. Grayscale Solana ETF. Good. Overall good, right? It gives access for people to get into crypto. The only bad thing is that we know what Grayscale's habits are. Just outflow constantly. Let's just hope it's not too significant. Solana is a smaller holding that they would have, right? When it comes to cryptocurrencies, in my opinion, right? I'm sure they wouldn't have more Solanas than Bitcoins, for example, and they've already outflowed a huge majority of their Bitcoin by now, right? I think so. They've only ever accumulated 73 million maximum in a day. Every other day it seems to be outflow. Most they've dumped in a day was 642 million. That's crazy. Compared to like BlackRock. BlackRock's been buying it all up, so at least we had that to suppress the outflows from Grayscale. But there was a time when like BlackRock was not accumulating that much and Grayscale was just dominantly selling. This happened last year. Now I'm pretty sure I was there to cover it all live, so that was painful to see from Grayscale. But you know, now it's not a big deal. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that. Another big partnership for Solana. They said it was going to be a big week, and it seems like it is. Western Union will build a stablecoin on Solana. Western Union, we all know who this is, to create international payments, you know, sending money in general, right? So they're going to tokenize it and create a stablecoin. It will be on Solana and it'll be good. And they confirmed it here. Solana even changed their profile picture to match Western Union's color scheme, right? Western Union, the world's largest money transfer business, is building exclusively on Solana. So big partnership here. They're teaming up with Anchorage to launch USDPT. Oh boy, a new stablecoin designed to be integrated into the Western Union's network spanning 150 countries. Borderless money is here. This is the ticker, USDPT. Why? USDPT. What is the PT coming from? Peer transfer? I don't know. I'm just... Yeah, literally. Who picks these names, man? USDPT. Come on. Why not WUSD? That would be cool. Western Union SD. I don't know. USD. You get the point. Whatever. And it's not like it's coming out tomorrow or anything. That is going to come out. It's planned to come out in 2026 is when they plan to launch the stablecoin. And like I mentioned, a partnership with Anchorage Digital. Good. We'll see how that plays out. And they did give some comments on it. Western Union CEO, I don't know his name. He says well, moving to digital assets is the next evolution, so he's favorable for cryptocurrencies. And apparently, allegedly, they tested XRP for a decade. They wanted to launch their stablecoin on XRP, but instead they ended up picking Solana. There was also talks about, Swift payments, talking about they're going to move to the blockchain as well. And, well, which one are they going to choose? Everybody was thinking XRP, but it seems like they didn't pick XRP and they picked Linea and I think Ethereum, something else. But it was not XRP, which is a huge letdown as well. Is XRP suffering? Well, it's down 1%, so I don't think so. Yeah, it's not doing much here. Well, it sucks for XRP, I guess. They did not get picked, and that's twice now. Western Union spent years testing Ripple's tech, even ran pilots with XRP for cross-border payments going back to 2015, so that's how long ago we're talking. The company's piloting stablecoin settlement rails to speed up cross-border payments and cut its reliance on Swift. Like I said, that's the older version of global payments, right? After a decade of experimenting, they finally found what fits. The CEO said they looked at everything: speed, cost, reliability, and one chain came out on top. And that, I agree with it. Solana would be the best pick here. Although, there's probably better options. Maybe Sui, maybe Aptos, just saying. Maybe Sonic, I don't know. But they're not going to do that. They would rather something that's like, it's already being adopted by institutions. We're seeing the ETFs come out. It seems appropriate that they picked Solana. So there you go. So now the decision is in. They're moving a $100 billion per year volume transfer, I guess, on to Solana. The 175-year-old payments giant just went on-chain, and it is building on the Solana network. That is great. One of the world's oldest payment networks, over 170 plus years old, is going blockchain native. Over 100 million plus customers could be transacting on crypto rails by 2026. Remittances, settlements, and global payments are being completely reimagined. That's good. I like this. Big win for Solana. This is institutional adoption 2.0. Not just ETFs, but it's also just real-world utility, deep with liquidity, and mainstream credibility, right? If something huge like Western Union is willing to use Solana, it should be a good sign for the rest of your average Joe, right? What else we got? More partnerships. NVIDIA plans to invest, or will invest, $1 billion in Nokia. Wow, I thought this company was dead, but okay. And GPUs are about to be indestructible. That's funny. Because the Nokia phones, if they're hard to destroy, so that'll be cool. Did they move at all in price? I'm pretty sure NVIDIA is on the rise. Always has been. NVDA. Yep, I think that is an all-time high. And Nokia, what are you doing? How do you exist? And I would have assumed this would be on the Japanese stock exchange. Oh boy. Is this an all-time high for Nokia? Might actually be an all-time high. No, we wicked all... What is this? January 2021. We wicked from $4 to $9. What happened there? Oh, we've been higher before though. Way higher. Yeah, Nokia fell off. But hey, this is a nice recovery so far if you were able to buy it down over here. Who would have thought though? Dead company just suddenly partnering with #1 company? Funny. And there's also NVIDIA announcing a partnership with Palantir. I don't know if Palantir has been on the rise lately. Should be. Yeah, it's doing good. Look at this analysis I did. Downtrend. What downtrend? Palantir's on an uptrend and it's still making new highs. Do we hit the all-time high today? No. Yeah, we did. No. When was this? Yesterday. Insiders, they knew. But yeah, there you go. NVIDIA partnering with practically everybody. They also said that the U.S. Department of Energy is partnering with the company, NVIDIA, to build 7 new AI supercomputers. Yeah, they're going places. NVIDIA is going crazy. We have a new partnership announced with Microsoft, announcing that they have acquired a 27% stake in OpenAI as part of a new partnership agreement. Okay. This means that Microsoft owns 27% of OpenAI, the company. And that is a lot of money, I'm pretty sure. I know OpenAI is not publicly traded on the stock exchanges, right? So I don't think I know exactly what their company is valued at, but still, it should be a huge sum of money. And of course, big company like Microsoft, of course, is able to afford all of that. Does Microsoft have their own AI? I don't think they do. So that's probably why they're getting into OpenAI. Similar to what Apple was doing. Apple was lazy when it came to AI, and they just announced partnerships with OpenAI. Which, if you recall, that became a huge issue when Elon Musk, of course, is claiming that his AI is the best, Grok. And if you go to the App Store, you look up an AI app, ChatGPT will be the first thing that comes up, and Grok will be like almost nowhere on the list because they're competitors, right? And Apple has an interest with OpenAI, so obviously they will promote it as the first option when you go to the App Store and look up recommended AI apps to install. Little things like that, right? Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the 27% stake in OpenAI, but yeah, I skipped this. OpenAI spokesperson says that the company has no plans to go public or pursue an IPO, but you can trade their stock price speculatively with, I think with X stocks, right? They have, or I think it was on Robinhood Europe, something like that. You could trade a tokenized version of OpenAI stock. Yeah. Anyways, they will not be going public anytime soon, apparently. So yeah. And PayPal teams up with OpenAI to power instant checkout and agentic commerce in ChatGPT. Well, even more partnerships. There you go. And before I end it off, we'll also talk about a lot of layoffs that have been happening or will happen. Announcements from these companies. We hear that UPS will lay off 48,000 employees. Amazon will lay off up to 30,000 employees, which we did cover. You heard it here first a couple of days ago. That will be replaced with robots and stuff like that, which is interesting. Intel will be laying off 24,000 employees. Nestle, Accenture, is it Nestle or Nestle? What do you guys say? Ford will be laying off employees. Novo Nordisk, Microsoft, PwC, I don't know what this is. I guess a news network. Salesforce, Paramount, Target, Kroger. I don't know what Kroger is. Whatever. Applied for Tech. I don't know what this is either. Applied Materials. Okay, I know them. AMAT. And Meta will also be laying off, although not that much. Layoffs would be good if you hold to the stock, because that means they don't have to spend that kind of money on paying salaries and could use that money instead to focus on the growth of the company. So if you were bought into one of these, it's likely that you saw the prices of them rise. Especially, I think UPS had their earnings announced today, which was good overall, and it was rising like crazy from what I heard. I have not really looked at it, so let me have a look at it. Yeah, look at that. Going from 88 to WIC to 109, and we're at 96 right now. So good for UPS. Amazon, I'm pretty sure, is still on the rise despite that huge outage. They're just like, by the way, we're laying off employees, so buy your stock. I have Amazon. I probably should have sold. Yeah. I don't know. If it's still on the rise tomorrow, I'll get out of there. Intel, I do want to look if Intel is on the rise at all. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's kind of what you, oh yeah, and also, is it due to AI? That would be the case, because we know for sure with Amazon, robots will be replacing those warehouse employees, right? I don't know about the rest of these other companies though, but we'll see. It's probably AI taking over a lot of these jobs. A lot of these are tech companies, right? So Wouldn't surprise me if AI is taking all these jobs. The stuff that I studied, for example, that I graduated in, AI is going to take over those jobs. So it's like I studied all that for nothing. It is what it is, though. All right, so final verdict. Do I buy Bitcoin? I will on spot, not on futures. And that's that. I'm gonna prepare for alt season for sure. So you're gonna start seeing me aggressively buy more altcoins. I know you're probably thinking, oh, I didn't learn my lesson after getting mega liquidated, but come on, how much more lower can they go at this point? They've bottomed out. They're not gonna have another liquidation event like that. So I think it's safe, and we've got some good stuff to look forward to, right? So everything is still relatively cheap, by the way. Like, I'm not saying these are bad prices, but I want the best. And maybe that will be the death of me, right? It could just start rising and I would have been like, oh, I should have bought when prices were relatively okay. Because we know the potential of how high these prices can go. And they can go higher. They just keep getting better. The blockchain, I mean, the tokens, their blockchains keep improving. And there's ETFs coming out. There's more partnerships. We're seeing all of this happen in real time. And yet still we're not seeing a huge reaction from them just yet. Because people are being cautious. So, in my opinion, I would take advantage of that. But we'll see. Yeah, I gotta keep analyzing, keep waiting for the days to go by, and we'll keep you updated in that sense. So, that's the end of the stream for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something new. Of course, make sure to subscribe. I will see you tomorrow. We will be discussing what did Jerome Powell yap about. So, yep. Till then, have a great rest of your evening.